Hi friends, I hope you're doing well. Today I really wanted to just do a makeup look, kind of reusing some makeup. I feel like I've been trying a lot of new things lately and I just want to sit down and do a look. Actually, to be completely honest with you, I wanted to reuse this palette. So this inspired the whole vibe of this video, but I am going to be just using things that I'm loving right now. Some of the things are new, some of the things you've seen me talk about before, and I'm just so excited. I honestly can't wait to make another look with this. I saw a comment, actually a few comments on the video where I first tried this out asking to make more looks with this because I'm assuming maybe a lot of you guys picked this up, so I wanted to do more using this palette. This is such a beautiful one. Last time I did like a very sparkly look. I'm gonna try to dip into like a little bit of the warm tones as well because I think that's something special about this palette. So we'll see where things take us. I'm gonna start off by using the WESTMAN Atelier Concealer. I've been using this quite a bit. It's really, really nice. I've found that less is more with this. But I'm going to use it as like an eyeshadow base. Yeah, it's a little bit of like a thicker texture than what you may have assumed would come from WESTMAN Atelier. It definitely has more coverage, which I do really like. And it's almost one of those concealers that is so full coverage and thick to where you might not even have to set it. I always set my concealer, but it's one of those formulas that is a little bit on the drier side. So just keep that in mind. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. I keep giving it a chance because I think I mentioned this in a previous video. Oh my gosh, almost dropped the brush. But all of my friends are loving this concealer. All my like beauty creator friends, so like Marlene Estelle, Lisa J, Nikki LaRose, like everyone's talking about this concealer in our little group chat that we have. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get on this bandwagon and see what everyone's loving about this. And it is very, very nice. It's just thicker than what I'm used to, and also it's like completely different than my current favorite concealer, which is the Tarte Creaseless Creamy. This is a lot thinner, a lot lighter, much more watery. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. It's just a different type of formula than what I've been using a lot lately. So yeah, also on the lips, I'm thrilled that I can finally talk about this, you guys. We just barely launched our brand new lip renewal treatment oil at Ravie.com. This is Ravie Beauty, my beauty brand, which is a dream come true. And we just barely launched this. This is my favorite lip product, like lip hydrating product ever, ever, ever. I've been using this for over a year, you guys. It is a staple and literally I wear it 24/7. So I put this on like a few hours ago. I will reapply now so you guys can see how pretty it is, but it's the perfect last step in your skincare routine, first step in your makeup routine. So I always, always, always without fail, before doing my makeup, I always make sure my lips are hydrated or have something on it. And these days, literally, actually these years, these months, it's this. So I always do a layer of this. I've been using this off camera and behind the scenes, you guys, literally for over a year. So this is how I've been prepping my lips for my makeup tutorials for a long, long time. And I'm so happy that it's finally here. Speaking of Ravie and speaking of Lisa J, oh my gosh, before I forget you guys, I'm doing something so exciting. A little bit nerve-wracking, but really exciting mostly. Lisa J, who you guys may know on YouTube, she's the founder of BK Beauty Brushes. She is an incredible content creator as well, and my dear friend. She has been doing a lot of incredible TikTok lives lately, and she's doing a super live tomorrow. If you're watching this, as this video goes live, she will be going live for 8 hours tomorrow. And she invited me to be a special guest. You guys, I'm gonna be coming in and out of her 8-hour super live on TikTok, and I'm so excited about it, and you don't wanna miss it. I'm gonna have the link to register down below, but you don't wanna miss it because not only am I joining her for some fun and chattiness, but also there may or may not be some incredible little flash sales on some Ravie Beauty products, which we never ever do. Like, we are a very new brand, and so sales are not really very common right now for us. We're honestly just trying to build and scale and make good products for you guys. But Lisa is my friend, so I wanted to do something special. So stay tuned and please join us sometime between those 8 hours. I'm so excited. It's honestly my first TikTok live, but like, I feel like that's kind of major for a first TikTok live to like do the 8-hour thing like in LA. So it's gonna be really fun. I hope you guys join us. And again, I'll have the link down below to register so that you don't miss out. Anyway, let's hop into the palette. Because this concealer kind of self-sets, I'm gonna try to just go straight into eyeshadow and see how that goes. Hopefully that's not a mistake, we'll see. All right, because I'm wanting to do a little bit of a warmer leaning look, we're gonna pop into this peach color. This is called First Class. I'm gonna use this as my transition shade today. I really like how they incorporated a little bit of like neutral leaning warm tones in here, because when it comes to a full cool tone palette, I find if you don't have a touch of warmth somewhere, it can kind of look a little too cool toned, if that makes sense, like too silvery, at least on me. So I love being able to incorporate a little bit of warmth into the eye look. And I'm just really interested to see what this palette is capable of with some of these more peaches and pinks. They're not super warm, they're definitely more neutral, but it is more warm than their silver tones, so it really complements each other and creates a bit more dimension because of that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this out up under the brows. It's a really perfect transition shade for me. Then we're gonna go into, let's see, I guess the warmest deeper tone is this right here called Unapologetic. I'm just gonna take that on the same brush. And by the way, these shadows are blending perfectly fine over top of that unset concealer, so we're just gonna go with it. This color is very neutral. It definitely has a little bit of warmth because of the like rosiness, but it also, once I'm blending it out, it's pulling quite mauve, which is so pretty. I really like it. So yeah, don't expect like fiery orange warmth from this palette. It's definitely gonna be much more neutral, cool, but some of the shades do have that slight tint of warmth. This is looking so pretty. I love doing full-on eyeshadow looks in the fall. I feel like I always say that every year, but really, you won't really catch me in the spring and summer doing full-on eye looks anymore. I don't know. I'll still wear glitter all year round, but when it comes to like a full-on eyeshadow look, I just feel like sweaters for some reason just complement eyeshadow. So whenever I'm wearing sweaters, I usually have more eyeshadow on. I don't know why. It just is what it is. The warmest shimmer shades are these two right here. So we're gonna start with Aurora because this is very much a nice like rosy mauve shimmer. So we're gonna start with that on like the outer portion of the eye, and then I think I'll bring in a little bit of that VVS in like the center. These shimmers are insane. They are so pretty. This palette, the colors are just like magical. I am so giddy about this palette, you guys. It's so pretty. It's been a while since I've been this excited about a full eyeshadow palette. That color looks so nice. All right, let's hop into like this kind of golden taupe shade. Again, it's called VVS. I'm just gonna take a little bit. I learned from my last look that you don't need that much. A little truly goes a long way, although it's tempting to really go in there because these colors are just so pretty. Try to just do a light tap and build, because otherwise I experienced a little more fallout than what I would like. And I feel like if I just control it a little more upon application, the fallout will be minimized quite a bit. So I'm just gonna keep building this on this inner portion of the eye. And then I'm gonna take my brush with whatever's left and just kind of blend out the outer crease and up toward the brow a little bit more. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that Unapologetic color. I just really like it. I wanna make sure there's quite a bit of depth still on this outer portion of the lid. So I'm just gently tapping that back into this outer third of the crease. We're gonna go back into the First Class shade, which was that peachy color. And I'm actually gonna just raise this a little bit. I feel like I tend to do that. Later in my eyeshadow application, I'll kind of bring the transition shade a little bit higher than where I had it initially, if I want that extra diffused look. All right, now I wanna use a little eyeliner. So I'm gonna use this Sephora 12-hour eyeliner in the shade Tiramisu, which is the perfect kind of cool toned brown. So I wanted a brown, because typically browns bring a little bit of warmth to the eye versus like a black liner. But this one has a nice neutral, leaning cool undertone, so I think it's gonna really complement all the tones that I've got on my eyes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and line right up against the lash line, focusing most of this on the outer third, just like that. And then I'm gonna take the makeup wipe and clean up any fallout. There's a lot less than there was last time I used this palette. Again, I think because I was a little more strategic with how much I was applying when it came to the shimmer shades. But I'm just gonna use that to kind of clean up the fallout and sharpen up the sides of the eye look just a bit. And I always take my finger and just tap over that so it's not too harsh of a line. I actually learned that trick from a masterclass that I went to years ago with Mario Dedivanovic, or Makeup by Mario, as I'm sure you've heard of him now with his makeup line. He's the one who taught me that. All right, we are going to go into what mascara? What mascara? Let's do the Tarte XL. Tartelette XL. Tartelette XL. Okay, I'm gonna do quite a bit of this on the top lashes only for now, and then we'll move to base. Okay, I'm really happy with the eye look so far. Let's hop into complexion. You guys, I've been really liking the Patrick Ta foundation. I don't know, I like held off buying this for so long because I heard so many mixed reviews about this. And so I was like, oh, I don't think I'll like that because I do have more combination skin where I get oily in the T-zone, but this is so pretty. I'm really liking it. I will say, I do set my face pretty well with powders. Maybe that's why I'm finding no issues with how it's wearing on me. I wear the shade 5 Golden Neutral and it's a pretty perfect match. So I'm gonna go in with this. I just use one pump for the entire face. I also think that's where maybe some people go wrong, is using a little too much. And I'm just using this Morphe Ariel A24 brush to buff that into the skin. And you can see it really gives a nice glowy finish. And I don't know, it's a little bit on the thicker side, which is why I think less is more, because you still get good coverage. But as soon as you apply too much with a formula like this, it can feel or look heavy on the skin, and then the glow is gonna show up a little more intensely than maybe you want. So I just keep it really light. One pump for the entire face. And then I'm just pressing that in with my sponge. Now we're gonna do contour before concealer. I'm gonna use my DIOR contour stick. This is pretty properly cool toned, but I like it for my skin tone, especially for a look like this. So I'm gonna go in with that on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna pick it up on a brush actually. I just think I get way better control when I do this. And you guys have probably seen, or maybe you've noticed, I've been doing my contour or bronzer before concealer if I'm using a cream, because I find that I'm using less concealer, and then I use the concealer to sculpt a little bit more precisely. I find it hard to sculpt with bronzer by itself. If I've already got concealer on, I shouldn't say hard, but you don't get as precise of a finish, at least I don't, because I work so hard to like blend the contour into the skin, that if I've got any precision with the concealer beforehand, it kind of like blends that out. So I've been really into just doing this first. Then I don't have to worry about it being too precise. I can just focus on the blend, and then I use concealer to clean it up, which I'll show you in a second. Just taking what's left along the jawline and a little bit down the neck. Also take what's left along the sides of the nose. This is one of those situations where like a super precise nose contour kind of scares me when it comes to the darker contour shade. So just being able to like throw it on the sides of the nose and then kind of like bring things in with the concealer is so much easier, and it looks better, at least for me. All right, so now we've got the bronzer slash contour all over, and now I'm gonna go into the Westman Atelier concealer again. Less is more with this, so I'm learning to not do swipes but dots. I find that that helps me control how much I'm using. So I'm just doing little dots, do some on the chin, a little bit underneath here. See how this kind of like reverse carves out the cheekbone? I find that to be really nice, and I'm just gonna leave the center of the forehead today. I don't know. Sometimes I'm in like a mood where I wanna do full contour all the way down the center of the face, but today we're just focusing on these areas here. So I'm gonna take my concealer brush and use that to blend, buff and blend, I guess, concealer into the contour, and it will naturally create more precision. It's just so much better and easier than the other way around. Because then you can kind of like erase, if you feel like you brought your contour too low, you can kind of like correct that with the concealer and lift things up again. I'm just gonna get most of this on the brush, and then I'm gonna bring this into this area right here and up onto the sides of the nose, right up against that contour. And you see how that just kind of seamlessly defines the sides of the nose without any extra work? I love it. Okay, now I'm gonna take my sponge and just make sure there's no harsh lines. And I also always like to kind of take my sponge right here on like the apples of the cheeks, because I find sometimes with the contour it can look a little bit muddy right here sometimes. So I like to just kind of press that in so that it really seamlessly blends from the center of the face to the outside of the face. All right, let's set the face with powder. I've been still loving my Makeup by Mario powder. This is the SurrealSkin Soft Blur Setting Powder in the shade Fair Pink. It's definitely more of a heavy duty, like proper setting powder, but that is what I like. I'm actually gonna use this on the Mario Puff. It doesn't come with this. I bought it separately. This is such a nice, very like plush puff that is very like malleable. So you can really bend it and like pinch this so that it gets into hard to reach areas. You know how some puffs don't have as soft of like a foam in the inside almost? So you're not able to really get in like the inner corners of the eyes, especially when it's this big. This one's really easy to work with. It's such a beautiful puff to go with the powder. So I'm just setting the under eyes, kind of pressing and rolling. I feel like I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I feel like it's Mario who made me love powder so much. It was his master classes that made me realize the magic of powder. I already liked powder before I took his master class. This was years ago. I actually went to 2 of his classes, but he is like the powder magician. And the way he's able to layer and press and roll the powder into the skin so that it doesn't look dusty or heavy. Yeah, I don't know. He just like taught me so much with that. And so I feel like that's why you always see me wearing powder, because I'm like, I can't live without it. Nothing makes your skin look the way powder does if you use it properly, and also nothing makes your makeup last the way that powder does. So when it's used correctly, it truly is a miracle worker. I'm just taking what's left and kind of tapping the outer parts of the face, but most of that was focused on the T-zone right here. All right, we're gonna do the lower lash line now. I'm gonna take my, let's see, I want like a smaller, more precise brush. Whoops. The Unapologetic shade, which was that kind of rosy tone. I actually always like to start with the deeper shade and go right up against the lash line, and then I find it's easier to like smoke that out and bring it down with the lighter shade instead of doing it the other way around like we do on the top lid. So I'm gonna take that right up against that lash line, and that actually looks so pretty by itself. But you know what, I do wanna add a little bit of that peachy color, First Class, but I'm gonna bring it like purposefully underneath, so we're not actually blending the two together. I'm just blending the edges of the 2 colors, if that makes sense. Just like this. Oh, I really like those colors on the lower lash line. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I normally would add a little sparkle or something like that, but I like how it is, so we're gonna leave it. I'm gonna go into my mascara again. I always lose this one for some reason. Like every time I set it down, and for some reason it just like disappears visually in my desk. We're gonna use the same Tarte mascara very lightly, because this one's pretty beefy, so it can get intense on those lower lashes. Same thing over there. All right, let's go into blush. I feel like I've been using my Ravie Beauty Baked Blush in Paradise like a lot. And you know, it makes sense. This is my most used shade. But I was like, listen, Daydream, I feel like we haven't been giving Daydream the love that she deserves on my channel. I know a lot of you guys love this color. I do too. Daydream is like the perfect kind of peachy pink. It's still like neutral leaning warm, which I think is why it's gonna work so well for this look. So let's use Daydream. I think it's gonna pull out those pinks and the more warmth in the eyes, versus it's actually crazy what your blush can do. It can kind of like tilt your undertone of your eye look a different way, because you can see here, like this is gonna pull out more of the mauves and the browns, where if we're wanting a more warm look, this is gonna like naturally pull out the warmth. Isn't that crazy? Did you see what I saw? It's very subtle, but I saw it. Okay, we're gonna go in with my blush brush, and I'm just gonna tap into a bit of this and start to tap this onto the cheeks. I always like to start with my blush, especially this formula, by just tapping to kind of get the placement where I want it. And then once I've got the amount of product that I want, and I want it to just like completely diffuse into my cheeks, I tilt the brush more head on, and then I start doing like little swirls. And this will just naturally blend the blush. It just keeps blending. This is like the most insane formula. I'm obsessed with it, obviously. But truly, it's such a good formula. It's so unique. I love it. And then it just kind of like blends a little bit more. So I'm gonna do the same thing, kind of pressing this into the cheeks first. Have you guys tried this brush? I feel like I need to hear from you in the comments if you have, because is this not the softest brush? It's like a little kitten paw. It's so soft and it just pairs perfectly with this blush, which is why I made it. I like custom made this brush with this formula in mind so that they would work perfectly together. It's my perfect like shape and texture, and like the density is perfect in my opinion to go with this formula. So Daydream is stunning. Honestly, I need to wear Daydream more often. I just feel like Paradise and Oasis, which is our berry, this one right here, this just feels more fall or winter. And I feel like in my mind, Daydream is very spring and summer, but clearly she's a timeless shade that we can use all year round. I've also been really, really liking my new little DIOR limited edition highlighter palette that I bought. I bought this during the Sephora sale, and you know what? I'm really liking this peach and this pink. I feel like this is gonna be the perfect little highlight to go with Daydream. So I'm actually gonna mix both, and I'm gonna bring this highlighter down a little bit further than I would with another highlight because I want it to blend into the blush formula. And I love how it has like a little bit of a peachy pink flip to that highlight, so it just kind of melts into the blush. Things are looking so nice. Okay, let's see now. Let's do a little lip combo. I'm trying to decide, you guys, whether I should use Lily or Daisy. I kind of feel like I'm gonna use Daisy now that I said it out loud, because Daisy has that little hint of warmth. Lily, I'll show you them side by side. Lily pulls slightly more pink. Daisy has a lighter tone. Oh, I don't know. Lily would look amazing with the eye look too. I think Lily. Okay. I was gonna do Daisy, but I think Lily needs to have a little attention too. Okay. So my lip treatment is still on, but since I'm gonna use a lip liner, I'm just gonna wipe off the excess of this and then just make sure the lips are really dry. That's gonna be important for a lip liner. Do I wanna use this? This looks nice. The NYX Mauve lip liner. I feel like that's gonna pair nicely with this. I need to sharpen it. Where did I put my sharpener? The way I lose things on this desk, it's unbelievable. Okay, this is the NYX lip liner in the shade Mauve. And I just think it's gonna look really nice with this look. So I'm actually gonna line and fill in the lips with this because I'm gonna do things a little bit in reverse. If you watched my reveal/launch video on our new lip renewal treatment oil, you would have seen I added some like tips and tricks in there, but in case you didn't see, I'm gonna say them again here. So when it comes to this, because it has a little bit more of that grippy formula, which I love in a lipstick, or in this case, a lip treatment, I actually recommend, if you're going to use Effortless lips, I recommend applying this first because it's just easier to mix the color into it. So I did the lip liner, then I'm gonna do a layer of this gorgeous lip treatment, which is going to like keep my lips so insanely hydrated. And then after that, now I'm kind of changing my mind, you guys, because now that I've chosen that lip liner, I think adding in Daisy, because this pulls more pink, I think I'm gonna go with Daisy to lighten up the center. Okay, so we're gonna do that. But you see how, because this also has a little bit of a grip to it, they kind of grip together, and it's really easy to mix the color into the lip treatment formula versus the other way around, which kind of just like moves the lipstick underneath, where this really helps like tint your lip oil. If you guys have tried Effortless lips, you'll know how hydrating this formula is by itself, but by golly, is it so extremely extra hydrating when combined with the lip treatment. I feel like this looks so pretty. All right, we are going to assess the situation. I'm wanting more blush. I feel like that always happens to me. Every time I finish the lip, I find that I either want more blush or more bronzer, and in this case, I want blush. And I kind of want it to be brought in a little bit more, like this, right here. So I'm just sweeping that in a little bit more. And then we're gonna set the face. I've been still so obsessed with this M Cosmetics Divine Water Perfecting Mist. The way that it smells and feels is fabulous, but then it like actually makes your skin and your makeup look so vibrant and dewy, but it's not in an oily, dewy way. I don't know what sorcery is in here, but it's incredible. So we're gonna go ahead and spritz this all over, focusing it on the outside of the face, but you know, naturally a little bit will hit the center. It smells so good. Normally, I do not like citrus scents. Like, I feel like if citrus is done the wrong way, it can give me a headache almost immediately. This is the most like luxurious citrus scent I've ever smelled. It's so good. I always go in and just tap the setting spray into the skin. And then I love doing this with any blush, but in order to really tie my look together, I am going to pop a little bit of Daydream just here, like the slightest amount. And I feel like that just pulls together all the tones throughout the face. All right, for brow gel, we're gonna use a trusty favorite, my Benefit 24-hour brow setter. All right, you guys, so that completes this look using products that I'm loving right now. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing a little bit more of a warm leaning look. Definitely pulls mauve still, but it's not as like gray or silver as most of the palette is, which I really like. I like that you can have a more rosy option in here. And honestly, these base colors paired with a silver on top would look incredible. So moral of the story is I love this palette so much and I can't wait to like keep using it and keep trying out all the shades and all the toppers. It's just so beautiful and magical and it inspires me deeply. I love it. Also, don't forget to register for Lisa J's TikTok live, which I will be joining. It's going to be an 8-hour live. I'm going to be popping in and out throughout, and there may or may not be some surprise deals that are happening, so you won't want to miss it because literally we don't do sales right now. Like, we just don't. So this is going to be a really exciting opportunity, so be sure to register. I cannot wait to see you guys. Also send me good vibes because I am a little nervous, but you know, to be fair, I talk to a camera all day long. I think it's just the live element that makes me feel a little more intimidated, but at least I get to be there with Lisa and we can just chat and it's not like all just me, you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be great. Join us. I can't wait to see you guys. Also head to Ravie.com to check out our brand new lip renewal treatment oil, like a spa for your lips, okay? This is something that I'm so passionate about because I have been using this 24/7 for over a year. And the crazy part is I still am just as addicted to it as I was when I first got the first sample of the final formula. So I can't get enough of it and I hope you guys love it as much as I do. All right, well, that's it for me today. I hope you guys have a fabulous day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. Join us on the live tomorrow if you're watching this on upload day. I can't wait to see you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Love you. Bye.